Locomotive won't stop. Locomotive ain't ever gonna quit. Locomotive made of artists.
Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KitBadger.com, here to bring you a first look at some pretty cool stuff. I got this guy in, which is the S.H.A.D.O pack by Prometheus Design Werx, 24-liter pack. And I also have this, which is the Vertix watch by Coros. This new watch I received is pretty cool, it has some pretty awesome features. Ultimately, it is a GPS watch made kind of for like mountaineering, like high altitude adventures. And while I haven't been anywhere crazy high, I have been up over 10,000 feet with it, as well as at sea level. And this actually came on a recent trip I took to Maui. Amazing trip. Same with the S.H.A.D.O pack. And while this is ultimately a first look, I have an opportunity to use both of these on a really cool, about 12-mile hike I did with my boys through the Haleakala Crater up on Maui. So far, I've actually really liked this watch. I haven't used it a ton. It does a lot of stuff I don't even know, but one of the things is measures SpO2, gives you that, which is essentially kind of performance feedback stuff. Also, of course, altitude, gives you heart rate, as well as elevation, and as I mentioned, GPS. It's made out of a grade 5 titanium alloy with a sapphire crystal front. On the back, this is where you're getting your heart rate, all that information. Right here is the plug. I do really appreciate the fact that this, it lasts a long time, about 45 days on a full charge. With using full GPS, you're gonna get about 60 hours. Right here, you can do numerous things with these three, to include this. You wind it up until you actually unlock it. And then here, you can switch through. It's gonna show you calories, steps taken, stairs, beats per minute, all your heart rate stuff, different elevation changes, everything over the last 6 hours. Again, back to that performance feedback stuff. Temperature, you can have it set up to where you're actually getting your, basically any type of push messages from your phone, whether it's text or getting your, honestly, any messages, Instagram, whatever. Lots of data here. And on top of that, using on that hike gave me some really cool data points. On top of recording data, it makes it really easy to actually access the data. So by way of example, right here, I've logged a couple things. One was a workout yesterday. I basically put it in as a run. And then this one right here is basically my hike with my boys through the Haleakala Crater over on Maui. And you can take all this information and very easily export it. You can email it to yourself or pretty much do whatever you want with it. And all the information on there is really cool. Starting at the top with a map, giving you the route that you took, as well as your time, and basically also your calories too, which is kind of cool. From there, it goes through and shows your speed. And with that, you also have your maximum speed, your average speed, and then it shows you your rests and spreads that out across the graph. Also shows your elevation, like your maximum elevation, where you ended up going through the entire hike. So of course we ended up dropping down into the crater. And with that gives you your ascent and descent. And then on top of that, we have your heart rate. With that, it's showing your maximum, your average, all graphed out. Also gives you stuff with respect to your heart rate zone, as far as where you are, how many beats per minute, training effect, and you can have it set up and it'll show you your laps. So the time hacks for your mile marks, everything along those lines. I'm definitely enjoying putting in time with this watch, and after I take it on more adventures, get more time with it, I'll do a full review. I am also really liking this pack. Prometheus Design Werx sent this out, taking it on a little bit of adventuring. I ended up taking this basically as my carry-on back to the Battle of Bills that Surefire put on. And I also took this with me over to Hawaii, going to Maui. I ended up carrying everything for my boys and I on that about 12-mile hike through the Haleakala Crater. And yeah, everything fit in here. This is their S.H.A.D.O. It's an acronym, Suspension Haul Access Durability Organized, 24-liter pack. And with it, there are absolutely a lot of features built in. I really like the way this pack is laid out for its intended role. Kind of everyday carry stuff, day pack, hikes, stuff along those lines. Great internal organization to include external organization. Right here we have this panel which can obviously attach stuff to. Lots of times I will take a jacket, some sort of warming layer, just jam it back there, or you can end up taking this, you can take it all the way off if you want, and then right here on the back there's actually a zippered pouch on it. So if you want, you can also put things in here, whether it's map, whatever, or just take that whole thing off. And then back here, we have this shock cord to organize, daisy chain, relatively shallow pocket here. And then we get into the, I guess, two main compartments. But continuing around, on either side, we have spot for water bottle or pretty much anything else in these elastic pouches. And one of the things I like too, while there's kind of your standard handle up top, on either side you have this. So you can actually pick this thing up almost like a suitcase and carry it if for whatever reason you don't need to actually throw it on your back at that time. As far as these internal compartments, this outermost one basically set up with this mesh backing. All these individual essentially sections you can fill with whatever you may want. In here, I have a jacket, some other stuff thrown in here, and then also there's a padded laptop sleeve. Fit essentially 15 inches and below laptops, you can drop them in there. And then past that, we have the other main compartment. Opening this guy up, same type of deal. We have this clear mesh zippers. Open it up, access stuff, be able to easily see what's in there. And then it also has this back here. You can go ahead and put a hydration bladder in here, feed it up through a port up here. And it comes with this, I believe it's their EDCO panel. Right here, you have a grab handle, whole thing pulls out. Obviously, we can put any type of pouches, like PALS compatible stuff. Organizer here, and on the back, again, we have these different compartments. I've started basically outfitting them with med supplies, lots of options with that stuff. Then as far as the suspension system goes, it's actually really comfortable. The way the padding is, allows air to circulate, everything along those lines. All the webbing on here too is essentially captured, so you don't have loose straps hanging everywhere. Everything is pretty much captured. Down here, it actually comes with a belt, waist belt that functions really well, and it's really easy. Basically bring this thing apart and take it off if you're not going to be using it. Dragging this through the airport, didn't really want to have that on there. I will do some hiking with it later on though, because it's actually really well laid out the way it's made. How has this stuff done for me so far? It's done pretty good. I've actually been really pleased with both of these. I ended up heading over to Hawaii with this without it fully charged, and by the time I got back, it was at like 24%. I was like, cool. Threw it on the charger, it's doing good. I like the fact that it's a digital face, so you can actually go through and change it to kind of whatever face you want. And this pack also did a great job for me. It carries everything I need it to, as far as whether it is on that hike or just when I travel. Lots of times I've been using a little Arc'teryx pack I've had for last like 10 years or something like that. And it's done a good job for me. It basically carries my travel stuff, like laptop, my hard drives, like external power supply, all these different things. And this does it. Carries all that stuff, to include water bottles, and really easy to throw a warming layer on here since I usually seem to get stuck in airports, stuff along those lines. But yeah, both these things have been treating me really well, and I'm looking forward to putting in more miles and time with both of them and eventually get back to you and give you a full review once I have put in the time. But so far, definitely enjoying this stuff. And I want to say, if you guys appreciate my content, greatly appreciate your support, whether honestly it's just liking and sharing videos or picking up stuff over at kitbadger.com, whether it's stickers or maybe patches, picking up shirts, all that stuff. It absolutely helps me just grow the channel, get out, create more content for you. Or even going over and getting access to the Badger Den, where you can essentially get some really good discounts with a number of different companies I've vetted. Or if you want to, I very much appreciate all of you guys that support me through Patreon. Patreon's a really easy way to support me, and honestly, depending on at what level, get you some access to cool stuff. I usually post some stuff, maybe not super regularly, but when I do, like, it's meaningful posts, talking about cool stuff that either it just happened or stuff that's coming up, kind of giving you the inside track. But all those things absolutely help. And at the end of the day, you guys support me, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Without you guys, couldn't be making this content. So as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.